Hello, everyone. I'm Chester44, also known as Fly, and welcome to this Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire. Last episode, we, managed to actually get back to the port, where we spoke to a bunch of people and actually managed to get a full crew up. Well, mostly full crew. We did get some very nice people. One of our members is currently trying to heal up. It'll take them a little time, but they will heal in time. Also, I just noticed we gotta get some of this food in. Geez, we really do need everything, don't we? Yeah, we're gonna need to use all of our food here. Well, we're gonna need to gather more alcohol and the like, but we will set it up. Either way, the ship is set up and we are getting things, so that is nice. While we started sailing our way towards the next location we need to go, which is the capital of the region, we got interrupted by the gods themselves basically summoning us forward to ask, okay, so what's Aethys doing? We told them, and the gods who showed up started arguing about themselves over, we should do something, or should we do something, or we shouldn't do anything. Either way, I was basically told, follow him and find out what he's doing. Which we will. For now, however, we're on our ship. Time for us to look around, see what we can find. Valian Trading Company Cape, Potion of Minor Healing, Hammer and Chisel, Fragments of the Blade of Endless Paths, and Fragments of Whispers of Yenwood. Hey! And we have Scroll of Ray of Fire and Letter from Alfra. Laniara, I hope this letter finds you in good health. It has been many summers now since you first arrived in Gilded Vale. Much has changed in those years for both of us. I don't know if you remember me, but the day you came to my door is not one I will forget. For months afterwards, I wrestled with my faith and my fear, and still the gods have blessed me with a son. He is healthy and strong and already so curious. All of Gilded Vale dotes upon him. I have told him of you. He asks constantly after the Watcher who restored his spirit, and hopes one day to meet you. Until then, know that we keep you in our prayers. Your most grateful servant, Alfra. Alright.
Why not?
Apparently I can't really speak with you. Hello, Jyoti. Anything to say?
Ship life sure is an adventure, ain't it? Just think of all the places we can sail to, all the sights we could see. This is nothing like being stuck on a farm, or cloistered in the back of a temple.
Jyoti wraps her sickle against her thigh as she studies the boat's layout. Satisfied by whatever she sees, she tilts her head to you with a small smile.
Tell me what's on your mind?
So how are you feeling? Have you suffered any recent nightmares?
They're there in my head when I sleep. And sometimes I can taste them on the back of my tongue like a smear of grit. Happens when I take in a particularly volatile soul.
And what are you going to do?
Go madder than I already am? I don't rightly know. It's not like I can turn my back on my duty to my god, even if it kills me. Sure thing, Watcher.
Yeah, that is true. Well, there's Doru. And Tilla. Eldengrim is right there. Hello, Adair.
I got time.
Nothing to say. How about you, Aloth?
Thank you again for maintaining my story in front of Vanessa and the others.
He gives you a grateful smile that fades almost as quickly as it appears.
I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative.
Let's see. Simpler than explaining your involvement with the leaden key. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I hoped you'd understand. Believe me, I take no pleasure in duplicity.
And what exactly were you doing out here?
After we parted, I set out to destroy the leaden key. It's controlled us for too long. I wanted to free Kith from it. So for 5 years, I've been tracking down leaden key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret.
Okay. Taking down the rest of the leaden key. You know what? I can understand that.
Trying to undo them.
And how has that been going?
The task has been more difficult than I anticipated.
I can guess a few ways, but how so?
I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make. Or the burden of living with them. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours.
He glances at you out of the corner of his eye. Easy, sure, I led you right into the prison of the gods.
What matters is that you got us out again.
He laces his fingers together, a familiar look of anxiety working its way over his face.
After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of undoing his work would be tracking down the Ledin Key's members and operations.
But...
Perhaps this would be easier with an example. I went to a village in Old Valia, a run-down backwater of a place. Aye, right home like it was.
Alof's expression shifts as Isilmir briefly emerges.
Centuries ago, the Ledin Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. A gruesome, pointless tradition.
He grimaces.
At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one,
Oof.
young or old, sick or hale, was exempt.
And what did you do?
The village priest administered the practice. Grim old fellow. Reminded me of Theos.
He raised an eyebrow at you.
Wicked el Bunbag, 'tis what the lad means.
He was a tyrant. I was certain that if the villagers were free of his influence, they'd be free from the bloodletting too. So I arranged for him to have an accident.
He gives you a sly look. And then...
The old man died, and the villagers were terrified. They were convinced his death was an ill omen. They blamed it, and every other mishap that befell them, on their lack of faith.
Oh dear, I see where this is going.
So they began bloodletting every week,
Ooh.
turning on their neighbors for giving too little.
His lips twist as if the words themselves have a bitter taste.
Instead of a handful dying each year, a few perished every week.
He's worked the edge of his sash into a tight knot. He clenches it between pale, rigid fingers. You couldn't have known this would happen. This isn't your fault.
I had to do something, didn't I?
He turns to you with wide, anguished eyes. He pauses again, untwisting the sash at his lap.
I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better.
Learning from mistakes like this is a good start.
I suppose so. I should get some rest. It's been a long day, and you've given me a lot to think about.
Hold on, you still haven't told me what the Animancers have to do with any of this.
Ah, that. I'm looking for an old Ledin Key sect. I've found several references, but
He breaks off, shaking his head.
I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise I'll tell you everything.
We'll talk more later then.
Yes?
That said, it seems we have plenty to talk about and catch up on. I'd like your thoughts on my search for Aethys.
One would hardly imagine that a colossus made of glowing Ardra could be so hard to find. But then I suppose the gods wouldn't have chosen you if the task were easy.
I suppose. It would be easy if he was walking over land, because then we could just follow the footprints and trail of destruction. But walking through the ocean? Well... I mean, on the one hand, he doesn't leave footprints, all he does is leave water washing in his wake. But on the other hand, it's a barren, flat horizon. Yeah, you should be able to see him. What do you know about the Valian Trading Company?
Well, they seem largely competent. I would feel better about that were they not run by profiteers and animancers. Governor Clario seemed honest and well-intentioned. So one wonders why he was stationed at such an out-of-the-way post.
He raises an eyebrow. That is a bit of a point. If he's honest and well-intentioned, is that because he was kinda against the, maybe he did something wrong in his previous post? Or someone just doesn't like him? Do you have any thoughts on the Principe?
I'd heard Deadfire had a pirate problem, but I had no idea how large it was. Or how fashionable.
You get the sense he's impressed, despite himself.
Still, the only thing more dangerous than a unified pirate nation is one at war with itself. I worry about who will be caught in their crossfire.
Did you ever make it back to Adir?
As a matter of fact, I did. I saw my mother for the first time in years.
There's a lightness in his eyes and in his posture that you've never seen before when speaking of his family. And how was your mother?
She was well. She'd been living with her Thane for quite some time. I don't think she'd been to see my father since I left.
He fidgets with the hem of his garment, looking distractedly at something on the ground.
I used to blame her for her long absences, for not intervening directly with my father.
And what changed with your mother?
I realized that she was torn between two demanding roles, and two demanding men.
He looks back up at you.
I used to resent her for failing to protect me. But I understand now that her absence is what allowed me to grow. Intentionally or not, she gave me the space I needed to learn a degree of independence.
Well, I am happy for you.
Thank you. It felt good to resolve that much.
Did you see your father? He shakes his head, his lips pressed tightly together.
It's one thing to forgive my mother for her absence. Quite another to excuse him.
Well, regardless of that, it sounds like it was a good trip then.
It was.
And how are you holding up?
It's been a while since I've been able to speak candidly with anyone, especially about the Leaden Key. It's unexpectedly liberating.
Oh yes, it is very liberating to be able to speak about things you've been unable to.
As a matter of fact, I saw my mother
I guess I
for
may
the
as well
first time
ask
in
for the sake
years.
of darkening it out. Can you remind me what the situation was between your parents?
My father was steward to an earl in the Seathwood. My mother entered into a hamnig with a Thane when I was very young. I think they must have loved each other once, but I recall little evidence of it. It was.
Alright, that's all. Thank you, Aloth. Good to be able to catch up with you. Seriously, I wish I knew how to speak
Leave
with
it to
her,
me.
but I don't think it's possible. Anyway, on to the deck of the ship, I suppose. We do have two other companions to speak with, one of whom is new. We got the ship, Kriath, the mariner salutes, Shitopek. Oh no, we've only got one other companion. Shield Sister Dahlia. Sees a piece of glass, but I've sailed far worse. Up here, we've got Beodol here, steering the ship. No offense, Captain, but your gunners can't shoot for shit. And Seraphin, let's speak with you, my buddy.
Ahoy, Captain. Truth be told, Ferrante half expects us to get our asses blown out of the water at Fort Deadlight. Fortunately for you, I have this bad habit of beating the odds. Of course, I do that by way of good old traditional chicanery. And the most important part of any Hornswoggle? Solid planning. Well, that and surviving.
So what can you tell me about Fort Deadlight?
Vailian made originally. Piled them stones up a few centuries back, but gave it up when the fishmen wouldn't leave them be. Hard to defend against Wilder crawling up out of your crappers. Captain Aldiz claimed it a few years back. Fucking filthy from bow to stern. And she had her lads and lasses cleaning fish shit out of the floorboards for months. A couple of them thought it might be better sailing elsewhere and left in the night. Aldiz tracked them down quick as you like, took their heads, and fixed them into little lanterns for the front gate. Called them Fort Deadlight's Deadlights.
His nose twitches. Yeesh. That's, ugh.
They say she ain't had a deserter since. Tad cruel for my taste. But I admit to admiring the wordplay.
Do you know anything about the fort's defenses?
Funny thing about it being a fort means it ain't a boat. Means it don't have to worry about the weight of cannons are storing honking big balls. Guns they got crowning that castle put a hole in your poop deck before you've sighted land.
He sighs and scuffs his boot against the floor.
Fort itself be floor to ceiling rum-sodden fools, so that be going for us. But Aldi's keeps the crew on the walls sharp and sober. One blast of their horns and Deadlight's locked up tight as an endearing mugger night. We'll stay that way too, till any unfamiliar ships have been shot to shit and shot again.
Gotcha. So I guess you can't really just walk up to the place. Well, sail up to it. What do you know of Aldiz?
Yeah, she's sharp as shit, that one. Tongue, mind, and ears alike. Sailed out of Deerwood or Adir one. Knows her knots, and how to crew a ship that won't turn sour. The words ring out among the Principe. More than you'd think for new blood. Part of that's a fierce support of freedom. From slavers, from the empires, from the Juana's caste system even.
I mean, that's a worthy goal.
The rest a lenient hand. Step out of line and Ferrante's got your old crew up for lashes. Aldis, though, she's, let's say there's a reason she attracts limp-cocked nut twists like Benwith.
Ah. So, you're free to do whatever the hell you want. Welcome to anarchy.
Can't say I much approve of a lack of regard for our traditions, but, can't say I don't share her vexations with Ferrante and the old guard neither.
He runs a furred paw over his braided beard. Shouldn't the Principe do something about Aldis?
Ah, the Principe's no fleet. More a mishmash of fiercely independent captains.
Ah.
A lot of them take to one another like sharks to krakens. But we be bound by the slippery slip knots of tradition. Even those bucking tradition cooperate for protection against our enemies.
Yeah, fair enough.
Many of the old guard have died off, though. And the new blood flooding in be, less the civil sort.
Gotcha. You mentioned you have contacts in the fort. Can we rely on their help?
Oh, I did say contacts, didn't I?
Seraphin rubs the back of his head as he takes a sudden studious interest in his boots. Oh dear, was that an exaggeration?
Contact would be more accurate, in the singular. A lass by the name of Ciri. Been running the same circles for years, doldrums and fair winds. We're never family, but never on the wrong ends of arms, neither.
So you know one person.
Might have shaken the sheets a few months back.
One person who you fucked. Got it.
Regardless of how she feels about me, there's no love lost betwixt her and Benwith, that's for damn certain.
So your contact is some random lover of yours.
Random? What do you take me for, Captain?
More useful than you look.
Oh, mighty kind of you, Captain, given how useful I look.
Seraphin winks, his thumbs in his belt. Do you have a plan to get us into the fort?
Oh, you be asking me for a plan. Frankly, I were curious to witness how the famed Watcher of Cad Nua would penetrate the impenetrable. But since you asked, just give me a tick.
Seraphin pauses to think. He strokes one of his beard braids.
Vast. I might have pulled a plan out of this hairy blue ass after all. Way I see it, we have an option or two ranging from the wildly dangerous to the fantastically suicidal. So tell you me, Cap, what be your preferred approach to problems unapproachable?
I like to be able to outsmart my adversaries.
Smart play for crashing any party involves scavenging yourself up an invite, and then dressing to impress.
He puffs out his chest, thumbs tucked into the fine fabric of his shirt. So look the part.
Aye, Captain, from stem to stern. Looking the part in this case means hoisting colours identifying us as Principe. Don't have to tell you how dangerous such a bit of fabric can be if the wrong person catches you flying it.
How hard could it be to purchase a flag?
Well, Principe captains don't just give up their flags for a few coins.
He scratches his rump, head cocked to one side.
Neketaka's black market. If there be a Principe flag for sale, it'll be there. Mark it up and relocates every so often to avoid the Royal Guard. We'll just have to find wherever it currently be anchored.
Well, let's discuss another plan.
Deadlight's a tough coconut to crack. But if not cracking, what are nuts for?
Oh, we could sneak our way in.
Might be there's a way to sneak inside. Bet we can find a shady spot to tie up a skiff under the veil of night. Then up the walls and over, quick as you please. Sussing out a place to land without being spotted ourselves require Helia's own eyes. Or a spyglass. You've got a spyglass, I hope?
Don't you have a spyglass?
Yeah, sure. Used to. Then I made the mistake of lending it to Ferrante. Apparently forgot it weren't his.
Ah. A low growl builds beneath his grumbling.
Showed him the S I carved into it, and he turned around and told me it stood for spyglass. There's an important lesson to be learned there. You take something to see, you hold grip on it real tight.
Fair enough. I don't have a spyglass.
Well, then let me recommend you remedy yourself there, Captain. A good spyglass be like a good lover. Shows you the bits you'd have missed otherwise. And Deadlight's a tough
And
coconut
let's do
to
a frontal
crack.
assault.
Yeah, if you insist on the straightforward approach, you could always load the old with powder and balls and hope the walls of Deadlight give before you roll. Here's hoping you've practiced your breaststroke. Savvy? If you breach the walls, you still got the guards to attend to. Adding to that a mess of pirates in multitudinous states of insobriety. And probably dress.
Yeah.
Deadlight's a smart play for Crash. Aye, Captain. Looking up. Don't have to tell you how dangerous such a bit of fabric can be if the wrong person.
Well, we have a
catches you
plan.
flying.
Let's get on
Aye,
with it.
Captain. Looking forward to watching you work.
Now, how about we talk with you about other things, eh?
Not to be telling you your business, Cap, but if we don't set sail for Deadlight, Benworth will finish his repairs and pull anchor. Vailian made a recap.
Oh, okay, so I can't talk about it normally.
Later, sure. Not to be telling you your business, Cap, but if we don't set later, sure.
Okay, so Deadlight is going to be the main thing, but we know where we're going to be going next. That is going to be heading to the next location in the Deadfire. So I think I can just click this. And we set sail, right? Indeed we do. I'm not going to stop at this island. Fort Deadlight's over there. But we do have our goal. We could investigate the island, but we'll come to that later. Our goal right now: head north and east to the capital. I think we're getting close. Might be around this island. A lethargic, misshapen bird drops a damp missive onto the deck. To Laniara, captain of the Defiant. I know what you're thinking. I have too many lovable cats, dogs, pigs, birds, and pigs. You said pigs twice. Like you, I once thought I could take in stray pets, care for their needs, and shower each with equal affection. But we limited beings have only so much love to spread around. Unpleasant, unfair, unfortunate. That's why I took it upon myself to optimize affection and curtail my creature care. I bring you the Critter Cleaver. The Cleaver is a handy, ethics-free apparatus yanked from a genuine Engwith and dig site and restored to glorious functionality. Simply slide your favorite feline down one end and let the Cleaver do its charm. Best is yet to come. See, the Cleaver remembers. Stick a white bird in there? It remembers. Purple pig? It remembers. It even remembers your pet's strengths, weaknesses, and favorite places to poop. Now your furry friend isn't just going to slide out of the Cleaver's business end same as it went inside. No, they come out different. Better. Sometimes. That's where it gets fun. Combinations! Want a bird to think like a pig? Want a cat to think like a different, better cat? The Cleaver provides! You'll be doing me a favor of epic proportions if you gave the Critter Cleaver a whirl. Once folks see you using it, everyone will want to turn. I've moved to the far wall of the Dark Cupboard, which is at Pariki's Overlook in Nekataka. You can find the Cleaver just due west of the Wooden Fella. A friend and animal lover. P.S. I fixed the insert receptacle so that it no longer accepts Orleans and gave it a good scrubbing. You're welcome. Now that's, a little concerning. And we have found Nekataka. Alright, well, I think I am actually going to go ahead and end this episode here. A little bit shorter, maybe, but I think it is fine. We do have one injured crew, but they'll be healed up next chance we get. So, next episode, we go into Nekataka and start exploring the capital of this island chain. This should be interesting. That'll be in the next episode. So until then, I am Chester44, also known as Fly. That is Laniara, Adair, Joti, Aloth, and Seraphin. Let me put them in order. Or not. This has been a Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, and I shall see you all next time.